Take 5. Faithful in famine. The news, the commercials are full of stories of individuals experiencing famine. Famine is a time where there is lack of, a shortage of, that can cause devastation. Famine is usually seen as food supply. But today, let's take 5 to discuss spiritual famine, and if we can, and if we will, remain faithful in the famine. I would like to start off with a scripture which is found in Philippians 4, beginning at verse 12. And it says, I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do all this through Him who gives me strength. I believe all the listeners today can relate to this scripture, or at least the beginning, where it states, I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. But can the listeners today also attest that they have been content in any and in every situation? See, situations in life affect our thought process, our attitude, and even our decision making. We have got to get to the place that even though we may be faced with spiritual famine, that lack of, that shortage of, that why hasn't my prayer been answered of, the secret to getting through the famine, your famine that you are faced with, is being content and enduring the famine process, not having fear in the famine, but remaining faithful in the famine. Our Father is looking for those that are able to endure the famine, not to have fear that causes us to run, shut down, or become as what our famine is. For example, if the situation you are in is a mess, that doesn't mean that you have to be a mess. You just need to be faithful in the famine. Possibly there are things breaking down in your life, but that does not mean that you are to be broken down. We cannot only be faithful in favor, we must also be faithful in famine. Could it be that the favor has not come because we cannot overcome the famine? I encourage you to take heed to the secret of enduring the famine, and that is being content, not confused, content, knowing that this too shall pass. Know that the favor is coming. The favor is coming. Your favor is coming. But it can't come if we don't be faithful in the famine. We are to be a people that are not moved by every little situation or any circumstance, because our situation and our circumstance does not define who we are. Be reminded today of who you are and whose you are. So there may be lack of in your life spiritually right now. There may be a feeling of shortage in your life right now. There could even be devastation in your life right now. But He still wants to see that you will be faithful in famine.